Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and as you can see, we are in our studios at the Capital Region International Airport, and we have the Grand Poobah of the capital area.
Great to have you here.
It is great it's great to be here.
Yeah.
Nicole Noll-Williams, of course, is the CEO. Let's talk a little bit about, you had a very interesting thing that I attended out here related to electricity in the sky.
You got it. So one of the things, as I came back to the airport a little over 4 years now already, is really looking at how do we lean forward when it comes to new technology and supporting the airport in various areas. And one of those is making sure that we've got the infrastructure to support electric aircrafts. So as we have multiple companies out there building electric airplanes, I've had the opportunity over the last 3 years in developing a relationship with Beta Technologies. Beta is not only manufacturing electric aircrafts with investors in the healthcare industry, in packaging and shipping, and military. They are also building the infrastructure, so the charging unit. So think of your Tesla charger to charge up your vehicle on the road. We have to make sure that we've got electric charging units for aircrafts. And Beta Technologies, they manufacture both. And so they're working from their headquarters out of Burlington, Vermont, and slowly putting infrastructure into key locations, Lansing being one of them in the state of Michigan, and making sure that they've got the infrastructure ready to move forward as they continue to advance this type of an aircraft and the approval from FAA for these airplanes. The event that you attended, the exciting part for us in Lansing is that we were the very first electric charging unit that was put into the state of Michigan. Traverse City, Holland, and Willow Run will also have charging units that are put in place. So when you think of an electric aircraft flying from, let's say, Lansing to Traverse City or Lansing down to Willow Run, it could be transporting packages, as UPS is one of the investors for Beta Technologies.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that's where the immediate future seems to be.
It is, and I think between healthcare and industry, so you think of the need to get organs from point A to point B in a very time-sensitive situation, that's what this type of an aircraft would be utilized for. So the first version of their aircraft is a fixed-wing aircraft, which is a pilot and 5 passengers on the aircraft, or the cargo model of the aircraft, which is a pilot and 3 pallets that would be available on the aircraft. And then the future is also on the military side, and I'm not quite sure of the demographics of the layout for the military version of the aircraft. But then beyond that, this is just that standard electric aircraft. Now we're looking at the eVTOLs, so the vertical lift. So think of a helicopter and airplane in one. That's what is coming off the line for Beta Technologies and really helping to advance the opportunity to get in and out of regions that maybe don't have runways, or needing to get products in and out of areas that are very isolated. So it's exciting to be a part of this, and Michigan Economic Development Corporation, very engaged in supporting the future of aerospace in the state of Michigan, but also focused on Beta Technologies, where they were able to provide $2.6 million to help put in this infrastructure in these key airports, and Lansing being one of those.
Well, this is going to be crucial, and I said there's going to be a day when this is going to replace RJ's, because I think we used to have service to Marquette.
We did, yeah. That was a 19-passenger aircraft. It was a Beechcraft 1900 that used to fly from Lansing to multiple locations throughout the state of Michigan. They're traditionally into markets that are considered essential air service airports, where federal funds come into the state to make sure some of these communities maintain service to hubs and key locations like the state capitol.
And they have airports.
And they have airports, and there's a need to get those customers into the business routes so that way they can continue to thrive in those regions. And I agree that I think this electric aircraft, as we move forward, we'll eventually see this as carriers purchasing these planes to put them into key markets that they could really support those types of smaller communities.
It's unbelievable. Now, look, we've got about 2 minutes left. Your strategic planning, you put a lot of effort into this. You've got a long-range plan. How does this fit into that?
For us, when we look at our priorities, it's retaining and expanding passenger service, both domestic and international, working on efforts to support cargo development, land development, as well as supporting our corporate and general aviation partners here at the Capital Region International Airport and at Mason Jewett, because we own both airports. So all of this is making sure that we're prepared 15 years, 20 years down the road. It'll happen before then, but making sure that we've got infrastructure, we are supporting the industries where we can, and making sure that we're diversifying revenue streams. As we saw during the pandemic, how volatile the airline industry is on the passenger side. How do we make sure that we maintain our Capital Region Airport Authority in a strong, viable fashion? So this ties into our master plan development, which we'll still have 2 more public sessions talking about the airport here in Lansing and how the community can get engaged and provide some feedback to what we're thinking as we look at land development in multiple areas.
All right, you got 15 seconds. Breeze.
Breeze Airways, nonstop flights to Orlando and to Fort Myers. Fort Myers comes back into the market in October. So if you haven't booked your Florida destinations, make sure you're doing that. And then also check out flylansing.com for details on Delta, American, and Apple Vacations.
Nicole Noll-Williams, the CEO of the Capital Region International Airport. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.